So let's just settle into our meditation. Nice, comfortable meditation position. And just settle in, get comfortable, just try and bring your mind inwards as we engage in a little bit of self-care here. And somehow try and reconnect with ourselves and perhaps also being aware of maybe reconnecting with our environment, this earth that supports us. So a lot of the First Nation peoples, you see this in Hawaii, New Zealand, in Australia, there was strong, also here in the US, there's a strong idea of thanking, being grateful, asking permission. And I remember when I was in Hawaii in, I think it was December of last year, we were looking for this secret spot where these special kind of fish are. They sort of live in this bracken water and they eat your feet. They eat all the kind of extra skin off your feet. But it's in quite a hidden spot, like only the guides know where it is. And then the friend I was with said, well, let's just ask. And so we asked. We said out, like, can we please go see the fish? And then all of a sudden we found them. It was very interesting. So I would urge you occasionally to get outside, walk around if you don't already live on some form of land, go into the bush, and you can, or what do you call it here? The forest, the wilderness, and just think about some of the things that we think about in our meditations. Go over it in your head. And it becomes a walking meditation. You can even recite the mantras. So anyway, that's where I went with my feet. So if you feel the surface of the feet on the ground, feel the weight of your legs and ankles in your feet, and be on top of your sits bones, shoulders are aligned with the hips, and just lengthen the spine. Take a nice deep breath. Just go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp or the forehead, the eyes, and the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the back of the head, back of the neck. Allow the shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly. And then bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Again, it's a part of our environment. And most of us are living in places where the air is clean. We take this fresh air for granted. We take the fact that our government here in California, I think also in Australia, I don't know where anywhere else, is very keen for us not to start using electric vehicles. So of course the air is incredibly clean here. And then of course in 2020, we had this fire season. It was kind of shocking. It's like, what on earth is this? So we just never take these things for granted. And when you go to Nepal, like Kathmandu, my decision to go downtown would depend on what the air quality was like. It's always better up at Kopan. But if it's like over 70, I would be like, oh no, maybe I won't go today. It's Think with enormous gratitude of this air that we can breathe in and out that nourishes us, gives us life. Notice if there's sounds in your environment and just allow those sounds to be there. The creatures outside, the human beings outside or inside your home, your pets, the traffic. And then notice the thoughts that are arising. Maybe you're planning something this weekend. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe you had a conversation with someone that you've been thinking deeply about. So just allow all these thoughts to arise without judgment, without creating stories, without going off down this kind of weird track. We just put ourselves on the bank of our river, just watch that river flow on by, and just remember that while we're sitting on the bank, we're free from that river. So bringing to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, the ones we don't love so much, and then our strangers, and imagine they all change place at any time. They could in your life. Maybe this has happened. And then think of perhaps how they're all equal. They have this wish to be happy and they wish to be free from suffering, just like us. And this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So now we remember we'll be doing this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, by extension, all sentient beings. And if there's folks that we know and love who aren't here tonight, think of them. Teeth people, our hin, for example. So there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change that by creating positivity instead. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience, because we know from our present suffering, we don't want really anymore. So the idea is that we remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we are needing this Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for some kind of higher power. We're wanting to purify ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you imagine this beautiful Vajrasattva, except made of light and maybe like a hologram, maybe in 3D, above the crown of your head. And here you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long. They're shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and very full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. In order to develop compassion, and this is the second part of this reliance, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you've harmed recently, in the past, and then in general, all beings you've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you. And just have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will create suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. And then be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is a purification of your speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, then think about all the inappropriate speech. And just imagine all of this is overflowing, purifying as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Dida meboa, sutukaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, Dida meboa, sutukaya meboa, supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasapa very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch. Just imagine the light dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same. The light from Vajrasapa's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy and bitterness are all instantly dispelled. Not one atom left. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So just again be delighted that all your delusions and these are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech are totally purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Tita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve. And this is our final step in the purification process. And it's really crucial to make a decision that we want to refrain from harming with our body, with our speech, and with our mind. And without making that decision, absolutely no change is going to happen. So we have to decide, am I going to get up and walk out of the room? Oh, yes, I am. And then you follow. So we have to decide, am I going to refrain from harming? Yes, I am. How am I going to do that? So make a concrete plan. We don't just say, I'm not going to harm anymore. So we've got to think about something. I mean, you don't ever get on a plane unless you book a ticket, unless you choose your seat, unless you, all these different things you have to do. So same here. We decide, I don't want to harm with this thing I do with my speech. Or maybe I'm sarcastic and it harms other people or it hurts their feelings. Maybe I swat flies. So think of something that you do that's habitual, that might be harmful or is harmful, and just decide that you want to start working on that. You want to start thinking about refraining from that. Maybe your thing is manipulation. Sometimes it's so subtle we don't even know we're doing it. So once we make a determination, a decision, it gives us some kind of strength. It gives us a way forward. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with you. He wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lamsa Rinpoche recommended to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level your mind understands emptiness, you can place it there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so for all of you people who have His Holiness the Dalai Lama as a teacher, just make strong prayers for him to live a very long, happy, and healthy life, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and dedicate for the long lives of any teachers that you have. Okay, lots of love, everybody. Good night. Thank you so much for hosting. And Michael, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, sleep well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.